Now I'm watching Beyonce walk through the door. I'm filming her come in. She's doing her thing. She walks up to Jay. And she has her little moment with Jay or whatever. So Indian teddy bear, I'm like, how do we get this photo? Because her back is to me. She's looking at me. And of course, I'm like waving behind. I'm really being a fan at this point. And so Indian teddy bear says, we have to run around to the other side because that's where they're going. Because I knew Jay-Z was in the back cabana. So I'm like, okay.
Wait, let me just say that again so we can hear how insane it sounds. Sir Carter has been hidden for almost 9 years. The Epstein files have just dropped, and Jay-Z's name is inside a federal document. And right in the middle of all of it, his own mother-in-law keeps showing up to explain away a boy nobody ever sees. That is the mess the Carters are sitting in tonight. Not a slow leak, not a rumor mill spinning in the background. This is a full-pressure collision between a child who does not exist in public, a government document dump that just made everything worse, and a family whose own words are starting to sound less like protection and more like someone trying too hard. We have been watching this for years, but the Epstein files changed the temperature overnight. Because now the question is not just why Sir never comes out. The question is, what else have they been hiding? And how much of it has just been forced into the open?
We got something different, special, legendary,
okay,
iconic,
okay,
all that.
You gotta keep going then.
Sir Carter from Brooklyn.
All right.
Young Hov.
Yeah.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me walk you through how invisible this child actually is. Rumi and Sir turned 8 in June of last year. Rumi has been photographed, filmed, brought on stage, taken to the Super Bowl, and even charted on Billboard. Sir has been missing from all of it. The last time he was seen regularly was during the Ivy Park campaign back in 2021. That is 4 years of almost nothing. 4 years of family photos that include everyone but him. 4 years of red carpet moments where he is the only one not there. Jay-Z took Blue Ivy and Rumi to the 2024 Super Bowl. They stood on the field. Cameras caught everything. Sir was not there. At the Christmas halftime performance, where the rest of the family gathered in matching white outfits, Sir was nowhere to be found. At a certain point, selective invisibility stops looking like a coincidence. It starts looking like a rule, and rules exist for a reason. Now, here is where it gets uncomfortable. His grandmother, Tina Knowles, has been doing a lot of interviews. In August 2024, she told E! Online that Sir is very quiet, that he loves numbers, that he is not into fashion, and that he is very, very smart. Then she gave another interview where she said Sir is into reading, and that his favorite story is about the smallest tree being the most powerful tree. Those are sweet things to say about a grandchild, but watch how they land now. The moment those quotes came out, fans called them overcompensating. They said Tina was trying too hard to paint a picture of a normal boy when the rest of the evidence suggested something else. And you know what? That is the trap. The family speaks, and the speaking becomes proof that they are hiding something. They stay silent, and the silence becomes proof too. There is no exit. Every time Tina Knowles opens her mouth, it adds another log to the fire.
At that time, I remember thinking, I can't be mad at her because that is what the media...
Then the Epstein files dropped in late January of this year. The Department of Justice released more than 3 million pages under the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Most of it is raw intake material, and some of it is unverified. The DOJ itself warns that tips may be fake or falsely submitted. But one of those intake reports, dated July 10, 2019, names Sean Jay-Z Carter. The anonymous caller claimed she had been incapacitated and woke up in a room where Harvey Weinstein was assaulting her, and that Jay-Z was present. Another tip named Pusha T, an artist signed to Roc Nation, as a handler. Now pause. This does not mean Jay-Z committed a crime. Nobody has charged him. The document itself says the victim's memory was clouded because she had been given a sedative, but that is not the point. The point is that his name is now physically inside the Epstein investigation, stored in a permanent federal record that cannot be erased. That changes the equation. Before the files, the questions about Sir were internet gossip. After the files, the same questions are being asked while a senator is reportedly pressing Jay-Z to testify before Congress. Let that sink in. Nancy Mace has reportedly pushed for him to testify about the Epstein files, about an unverified tip that places him in a room with Harvey Weinstein. Whether the tip is true is almost secondary now. The damage lies in the document's existence, the association, and the timing. Because right in the middle of all this, Jay-Z quietly did something that made people look twice. He changed his name, not legally, not officially, but the way he presents it publicly. He started using Jay-Z with an umlaut. The same styling appeared on promotional material for a 2-night concert series marking 30 years of Reasonable Doubt and 25 years of The Blueprint.
A blistering statement. Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away."
His team says it is a tribute to his debut album, where the umlaut originally appeared back in 1996. That is the official explanation. Here is what the internet said instead. He is trying to redact himself. People joked that he was changing the spelling so search results could not find him. They laughed that he wanted to hide from the Epstein files by tweaking a letter. And sure, that sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud, but the timing is absolutely brutal. The files dropped in late January. The name change appeared right after. Whether it is a coincidence or a calculated move, it looks bad. In a story built on layers of suspicious details, bad timing becomes its own kind of evidence. You do not add an umlaut to your stage name the same week your name appears in a federal document unless you are either completely oblivious or trying to signal something. Neither option looks good. So here is where we are. One child has been kept out of the public eye for years. His grandmother, Tina Knowles, keeps describing him in ways that fans immediately call overcompensating. The DOJ has released documents that place the father's name in the Epstein investigation, and the father responded by subtly adjusting how he presents his stage name, as if that would make any of this go away. That alone would already be a mess, but there is another layer that makes the situation feel even more unstable. The twin they do show publicly, Rumi, has started behaving differently, and people have noticed. Remember the videos from last year? Rumi on stage with her mother, Beyonce, bouncing, waving, and looking genuinely excited. The internet began speculating, pointing to behaviors like hand movements, staring at lights, and bursts of energy. Some commentators, claiming experience with autistic children, said they recognized the signs immediately.
And very, very honored that I got the response and the open heart, and people welcomed the album. The love I got from the country community tonight really made me feel so seen, and I'm very...
And then something changed. According to sources close to the family, Beyonce regretted bringing Rumi on stage after those videos went viral. The same sources claimed she and Jay-Z had a talk with Rumi, and after that talk, the energy disappeared. Fans complained openly, saying the old Rumi is gone, that she is too well behaved now because someone told her to stop acting like herself. You can hear it in the reaction clips. Let that little girl be a little girl. But the family did not let her. They adjusted her. And that is the part that slides from passive hiding into active cover-up. It is not just that Sir stays home. It is that the twin who does appear gets coached the moment speculation gets too loud. They are watching. They are reacting. They are trying to control what the public sees in real time. Now add the medical anchor that makes all of this speculation feel grounded. Beyonce herself has talked about her pregnancy with the twins. She said she suffered from preeclampsia and toxemia, that she had high blood pressure and damage to her liver and kidneys, that one baby's heartbeat paused several times in the womb, and that she needed an emergency C-section. Research shows that preeclampsia is not a direct cause of autism, but it does indicate a higher risk for developmental conditions, including ADHD and other intellectual delays. That does not prove anything about Sir or Rumi, but it gives the speculation a factual foundation that is harder to dismiss than random internet gossip. The family handed the world the medical explanation themselves. They just never finished the sentence. And here is where the walls start closing in. You have a hidden son. A grandmother who cannot stop talking. A federal document with Jay-Z's name on it. A weird name change that looks like evasion. A twin whose behavior got rewritten overnight. And then you have the public reaction, which the family cannot control anymore. 50 Cent is already mocking Jay-Z over the Diddy friendship. Jason Lee is out there saying he has receipts on the Carters. Kanye West tweeted about the twins and got sued for it. Illa Banks called Beyonce out directly. "Stop hiding your son from the world, sis." Those are not anonymous accounts. Those are names. And every single one of them is pulling the same thread. So, what are we supposed to do with all of this? A child who has not been seen regularly since 2021. A grandmother whose descriptions sound less like sharing and more like damage control. A federal document that puts the father's name inside the Epstein investigation. A weird name change that looks like someone trying to outrun a search result. And a visible twin whose entire public demeanor shifted the moment people started asking questions. None of this is a confession. None of this is proof. But when you stack it all together, it stops feeling random. It starts feeling like a family whose defenses are cracking in real time. And the only question left is, what finally breaks first? You caught the coaching part, right? Because that is where the story turns from weird to something else entirely. We are not talking about a shy kid who does not like cameras anymore. We are talking about a family that saw the internet talking, saw the videos spreading, and, according to sources close to them, decided to intervene. Beyoncé regretted bringing Rumi on stage. So, she and Jay-Z had a talk with her. After that talk, the little girl who used to flap her hands, stare at lights, and bounce with unfiltered excitement suddenly became still, well-behaved, controlled. Fans noticed the shift immediately and started complaining that the energy was gone. That is not parenting. That is production. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it.
Real? Some people are actually accusing her of wearing a fake baby bump.
You know, there are certain things that are so far that it doesn't even upset you. My mother, she's like, nobody's talking about my grandbaby. My grandbaby's not.
Now, watch what happens when you pull the lens back. Because this is not just about one family managing one child's behavior. This is about a network. And the first stop on that network is a federal prison in New Jersey. Sean Combs, better known as Diddy, was convicted in July 2025 on 2 counts of transportation for commercial purposes. He was acquitted on the bigger charges, but the conviction still put him away for 50 months. That sentence came down in October. Then, on March 13th of this year, right in the middle of all the Epstein file chaos, his lawyers filed an appeal asking for immediate release. Their argument: the judge punished him for charges the jury had already cleared him of. So, as we speak, Diddy is sitting in FCI Fort Dix, but his legal team is actively fighting to get him out.
I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make...
Why does that matter for Jay-Z? Because the association is not just friendly, it is everywhere. 50 Cent has made it his personal mission to make sure nobody forgets. He posted photos of Jay-Z and Diddy together with the caption, "Friends till the end. Jay, you still there?" He brought up the Kid Cudi's car incident. He even shared an AI-generated video of the 2 rappers getting handcuffed and walked out of a party. 50 Cent is trolling, sure, but his mockery lands because the connection is real. Jay-Z and Diddy have been linked for decades. And now, one of them is a convicted felon fighting to stay out of prison, while the other is explaining why his name appeared in the Epstein files. That is not a legal problem. It is a public perception nightmare.
Jay-Z got his whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange? You gotta let the feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your whooped.
And then there is the testimony that makes the whole thing stickier. During Diddy's federal trial, a former assistant named Capricorn Clark testified that Cassie Ventura told her she could not leave Diddy because, and this is a direct quote, "JAYZ was taken." Cassie supposedly said she did not know who else she would date with comparable wealth and influence. Now, Jay-Z is not accused of anything in that testimony. It is a witness repeating what someone else said. But look at how it functions. It ties Jay-Z directly to the Diddy case as a reference point, a standard, the reason someone felt trapped. That is not evidence of a crime, but it is evidence of how deep the entanglement runs. And when your name is already in the Epstein files, You do not need more entanglement, you need less. So where does that leave the pressure? Inside the house, a child is being coached to perform stillness. Outside the house, a close associate is fighting to get out of prison while a rival rapper mocks the friendship daily. And somewhere in the middle, people are starting to whisper about what else might be buried. This brings us to Jason Lee, founder of Hollywood Unlocked, close friend of Rihanna, and open antagonist of Beyonce and Jay-Z. He has been on his podcast claiming he has major information on the couple. He says he has receipts. He also claims he stopped a major thing for Beyonce and did not even get a thank you. Vague. Extremely. But in a story where the family's main defense is silence, someone who claims to have evidence matters. Jason Lee has not produced anything yet, but the fact that he keeps talking and nobody has sued him into silence is its own kind of pressure.
And it was pretty much said like, Jay doesn't really want awards. Well, he go to the Grammys.
Right.
He you know, come into the Black-owned spaces. Let's figure out how to work together so that way we have the relationship when it matters, not when it's convenient for you and your image. Because they all call us when the story...
Now, here is where it gets strange enough that I need you to stay with me, because the threads start connecting in ways that feel like a puzzle nobody wants solved. On March 8th of this year, a woman named Ivana Ortiz drove a white Tesla to Rihanna's Beverly Crest mansion. She fired an AR-15 style rifle. 7 casings were recovered. Bullets hit the front gate, a parked vehicle, and the exterior wall. Rihanna, A$AP Rocky, and their 3 children were inside an Airstream trailer when bullets hit the windshield. No one was hurt, but only by luck. Ortiz was arrested the same day. She has been charged with attempted homicide and is being held on more than $10 million bail. On the surface, this reads as a stalker case. Her social media history shows a woman who wrote, "Rihanna wanted to harm me and demanded her arranged husband renounce the singer." That looks like instability, but look closer. Rihanna's name appears in the Epstein files, dataset 10. Phone calls from Epstein's network dated January 2018 include her as a recipient. That does not mean she did anything wrong. Epstein collected powerful people like trading cards, but it does show she had a connection to a network now under federal scrutiny. A$AP Rocky, the father of her children, is signed to Jay-Z's Roc Nation. The same Roc Nation being defended by Alex Spiro, the attorney whose name also appears in Epstein's communications. The same Alex Spiro who previously worked on Harvey Weinstein's legal team. Before the shooting, Ortiz filed a petition against Live Nation, the same company that co-owns Roc Nation. I am not saying the shooting was connected to Jay-Z. Law enforcement has made no such claim. But an opinion article published after the shooting asked the question now stuck in my head. What was Epstein's relationship with Rihanna? And does that relationship shed any light on who might view her as a liability? Because the pattern is there. The phone log, the Roc Nation contract, the Live Nation petition, the shooting. Whether those threads actually connect is what investigators are supposed to figure out. But the fact that they exist at all, at the same moment that Jay-Z's name is inside the Epstein files, his associate is in prison, and his mother-in-law is over-explaining his son, that is not nothing. Through all of this, the coaching, the conviction, the 50 Cent mockery, the Jason Lee receipts, the shooting, and the Epstein files. One question never goes away. What has been hidden about Sakata? Why has he been missing for nearly 9 years? Why does his grandmother's voice sound tighter every time she describes him? Why did his father change his name the week federal documents put him in the Epstein investigation? Why is his twin sister suddenly performing stillness instead of joy? These questions do not get answered by the Diddy case, the shooting, or the podcast claims. They just get louder because every new pressure point makes the original silence harder to defend.
Think you're cool?
Blue, she be fronting on me a little bit, but I catch her.
Jay-Z. None of this is proof. None of this is a confession. The family has not admitted anything. There is no medical diagnosis. The Epstein tip is unverified. The name change has an official explanation. But when you stack circumstantial evidence this high, it stops looking like a series of coincidences. It starts looking like a structure. And structures exist to hold something up, or, in this case, to keep something from falling. The walls are pressing in from every direction now. The coaching, the prison, the testimony, the receipts, the shooting, the files, and at the center of it all, a boy who has not been seen in years. So, what do you actually think? Is this a family desperately protecting their privacy, or a family desperately hiding something they do not want the world to see? Does the name change mean nothing, or does it mean everything? And what finally breaks first when all these walls start pressing inward at the same time? Let me know in the comments. I really want to hear where you land on this. We will talk again soon.